Hello, friends, and welcome. Today, I have for you an interesting fountain pen. It is a small fountain pen without a standard clip, and it is a pocket or a handbag size fountain pen designed especially and sold for the ladies. And in this case, we have a Waterman Lady Charlotte from the end of the 1980s. These types of fountain pens, the handbag size or the pocket fountain pens, have a long history. They were launched for the first time in 1912, and they were a great hit because of their compactness and their utility. And I will start this video comparing these small fountain pens with other small fountain pens from my collection. Here we have also a lady fountain pen with a ring top which resembles the Parker Duofold top ring vest pocket from 1932. And the difference between those two, of course, are the measurements, because this is a smaller fountain pen and it has this ring top which made it quite practical. You could even wear it on your necklace or something. The newer model is quite plain. Another iconic fountain pen which was popular for its compactness, it is the Kaweco Sport. This is a vintage model from the early 50s, and I also have um, quite interesting fountain pen. This is a Franken pen made out of different parts, but it resembles the Parker Duet Junior Modern, which was very popular in the beginning of the 1930s. They were called also thrift time pens or depression pens because they were quite inexpensive at that time. And I have another model fountain pen, a school fountain pen made in France, Crick and Cricks, which was a popular fountain pen for the French students at the beginning of the 1990s. I want to tell you that the Waterman Lady Charlotte has 108 millimeters or 10.8 centimeters, and let's see it together with other small fountain pens. Okay, and now that we've seen the size of the Lady Charlotte, we can talk about its characteristics. It is a brass fountain pen. It's made out of metal. Lacquered, it has this beautiful red lacquer. And you can see these gold-plated trimmings on it. The cap is friction fit. Like I said, it is a plain looking cap, so no clip on it. At the end, we have imprinted on the ring Waterman made in France, and that's it. At the end, we see this not flat but not domed. It's just slightly raised, but with nice rounded curves, gold plated. Interesting let's say, element at the end of the cap. Very elegant. We can see a gold-plated ring that has a role in securing the cap. We continue with the barrel, and you can see that in time, during to let's say it was dropped and the lacquer fell off some parts. Yes, these are the only parts that are affected in this particular model. Here we don't have a ring but rather a small canal, which at the light gives the impression of two separate rings. That reminds me of the Cartier model. And at the end we have also a similar shape like we did on the top of the cap, but this time this isn't gold plated but covered in lacquer. The grip section is quite, excuse me, the grip section is quite simple. We have this plastic part. It has these lines which help to hold securely the fountain pen. They add a nice grip. Some design element that I don't like is this gold-plated brass at the end of the grip. And you can see that in time, if you don't clean your fountain pen, it is prone to corrosion because of the acidity of the ink. Even the beautiful steel nib, if you don't maintain it clean, being from steel, is prone to corrosion. We can see an interesting breathing hole in the form of a heart, and imprinted we can see Waterman, France, and the size of the nib, an F nib. At the back, we can see this plain looking feed is not made from ebonite. I think it's made out of plastic. Okay. The interesting part in this fountain pen, because it is a very small fountain pen, you can use only small cartridges. In the beginning, the Waterman advised the consumers to use only their international GIF Waterman mini standard cartridge refill, and they provided even a small ink converter to this model. Unfortunately, I don't have the original cartridge, but the good news, you can also use the Pelican cartridges, and for this I used the Pelican 4001, but it was a tight fit, not an impossible fit but a tight fit, but it works. And you can see that when I insert the barrel I have some little resistance, but it works with an international mini cartridge. Before the writing sample, I will put it side by side with the regular normal fountain pens to give you an idea of the dimensions of this fountain pen. And I've chosen Parker 51 from the beginning of the 1950s, a Mont Blanc Masterpiece 146 from 1952, a more modern Lamy 2000 from the end of the 1960s, and Pelican Souverain M800 from 1987 1988. And let's see them side by side. You can see the tiny, tiny Lady Charlotte fountain pen from Waterman. I will leave its dimensions on the screen, and after that we'll do a quick writing sample with this beautiful, beautiful, small, elegant fountain pen. So I've already shown you that the little pen is inked. One of the problems that I think the users will have if you use it on a desk, because it hasn't the clip on the cap, it rolls, and you could have a little accidents with it. It will roll off the desk, and the Murphy law will state that it will be it will hit the ground right with the nib, and the nib will be compromised. I hope it doesn't happen to you, but you must treat it very careful. This is the Waterman. I'm sorry, it needs some warming up. Okay, now I think it's ready. Let's have a look. Waterman. This is a lady. It has some little skips, but I don't know why. The truth is, I didn't clean it thoroughly before this video, but I hope yes, I think it writes. Let's start again. So, a Waterman, Lady Charlotte, from the late 1980s. This is a pocket fountain pen, or let's say a handbag size. Okay, it has a steel nib. It is gold plated. Okay, and they say it's an air nib, but seeing how it writes, I think I will classify this as a medium nib. Let's see if it has some line variations. No, so no flex. It has this particular model has some slight but not pronounced flow issues, but not. I think it's not a problem. If you write with it, it will eventually give in. Maybe do a little cleaning. What can I tell you about the nib? Is a simple nib, and I particularly love the small breathing hole in the form of a heart. This was the review of the Waterman Lady Charlotte. As always, I wish you to have a nice day. Thank you for your time, and see you on the next episode. Thank you.